Hi, embodiment of the first, second chakra. This webinar had started already and we've completed the first one. And what it's bringing in really strong for me and what I've observed in the field of the group is this self-love, safety, flow, expansion, union with oneself, loving oneself. And also what becomes very clear, and I realized this a few years ago, was the difference between the male and the female, that they have different qualities and they're not competing or fighting with each other. They have unique qualities, and we have both sides inside us, which have different qualities. And this is what's coming up to the surface. What's happening in the mainstream is there's almost like a castration of the male and actually the female too, and a dilution. They are not one, they are different. They are very different. The qualities of your masculine and the qualities of your divine feminine is uniquely different. And they're not comparable. So they're not in competition with each other. And they're not fighting one another. They support each other in balance, in flow, in marriage with each other. So at this time on this planet and at this great awakening, I find no better a time, more important time to honor the sacredness of your divine feminine, your divine masculine, and allow them to support each other and love each other, to integrate into oneness. They bring us into this flow. There's a complete union. When you integrate your left and your right, they support each other and they flow together. And this is what brings in the Kundalini, and this is what brings you up to higher frequencies. And also down, these higher frequencies then embody into your life. It's almost like the fountain of youth. Life force comes in. Dignity comes in. A self or a feeling of purpose of oneself. A connection with self-love on the inside, compassion, flow, and self-love from the outside. So an ability to accept love from the outside. There's an intelligence in us, there's an intelligence outside us. And the divine intelligence, I'll call it, is there to love us and to give us what our soul needs. And this intelligence has always been around us. And part of us didn't trust to receive this love, this great love that's around us. The divine intelligence in us and around us knows what we need, knows our purpose, and supports us. So when you really surrender into that unknown, but it is known on another level, you go into flow. Another huge awakening I had when I surrendered to this, and I'm surrendering every day to the divine intelligence. It's like the divine organizer. It's synchronicity. Synchronicity and flow comes into your life. That there's something greater than this here. There's something greater guiding me. There's something greater planning my day for expansion and flow, and for me to serve myself and serve the field for the higher purpose. So when I name that this webinar is about embodiment of the genitals, it's so much more. And the genitals have been so covered and misunderstood to what they represent and what they really, how sacred, how connected, and what a divine channel of creation they open when we really embody and love our connection with our body, with the earth, with Mother Earth, and flow again. The genitals for me are like a chalice, a sacred chalice, which helps spirit to embody. And that creation, that's intelligence that's around us, that fertility that's above us, is in us as well. And through man's belief systems, through man's abuse, we lost that connection, or we forgot that connection. And also then the soul fragments out from different ancestral wounds, different wounds from our childhood. So in this webinar, in the first one, we were integrating the wounds to create flow. And the next one, it's interesting, I'm very strongly connected with nature and the animal kingdom. They always give me signs. So it's usually something strong happens to me when I know a snake comes or an eagle comes. And I was on the beach yesterday and a dolphin came when I was swimming. And the dolphin for me always represented, over the years when I was working with heavy abuse, the dolphin energy always came in, and that's flow, harmony, courage, expansion, joy, ease. We don't need to go into the heaviness. We can come out of it. We can raise above it. We can play with it. It's playfulness. And the dolphin represents this innocence of the inner child and the playfulness and the sacredness of the inner child. So I felt like the dolphin came to initiate me, or initiate us, to this playfulness that's inside us, and that's around intimacy too. So I'm very excited to see what's going to happen tonight in tonight's webinar with this initiation, I feel, and sacredness and connection with the stars within us and the universe within us. So I'll be starting that this evening. If you can't make it, it's recorded, and all the webinars are recorded. I got the message years ago to record them because there's frequencies. So when I'm working on connecting cellularly and giving transmissions to every cell, I know I'm being guided to do that. So it's almost like I see a crystal between me and whoever, or the group I'm working with, and there's transmissions going through, and the transmissions then go to your cells. And so I'm not doing the work, I'm simply giving transmissions to the cells, and your cells then have the free will to release a heavier frequency or transform a heavier frequency or any density, which allows more of your light and allows your soul fragments to come in. So we're in the physical aspect. The physical aspect is, if you imagine the cells have density in them. They've frozen ports. They have got heaviness there. They've got belief systems there. They got fear there. So for example, when there's fear, it's usually here, here, and down through the spine, also the kidneys and the bladder, this first, second chakra. So I'm being guided to work through the different fields where the density is, where the fear is. So it's not only working with the genitals, it's working with the entire system to keep the system open and then to raise the frequency of the whole system. The pineal gland is extremely important. The amygdala is very important, both sides. It's like an almond, both sides. Because if that is out of balance, that's when the fear comes in, and that's where also the fear of change, or we become frozen when there's a shift happening. So I'll be working with that as well. So yeah, cellular information, mindsets, soul fragments, this life, past life, and also conception. The womb, what experience you had in the womb. The womb is home. So how was that home for you? Because that usually sets up how home is here. So I'll be working with all these different fields. I started already in the first webinar, the recordings are there, and I'll move forward this evening. And the group is an incredible group. I want to thank you all who's in this group. It's an incredible field of courageous, yes, souls who are all sharing their experiences and sharing the keys. So when there's a miracle or shift in somebody, the field opens up with that information of that transformation and that miracle in the system. So then everybody has the possibility of also shifting with that person. That's why I always invite you to share the results, because the results are for everyone in the system. When I get a result, I share it into the field, imagining a field of energy. And then anyone in that field then has the possibility of also taking that shift. And then if someone takes a shift, that information of that shift goes into the field. Then another person makes a shift, that field becomes stronger. So that's why the recordings are there, because as you're watching the recordings, you're getting the results and you're sharing the information of the results, the keys of the result into that field. And then we all have that possibility of expansion. And then there's a ripple effect in you, your family, your life, the surrounding, the world around us. So it's very sacred and self-responsible. It may look passive because it's usually in silence when I'm working, but really your soul is doing a huge job in giving frequencies and transforming during these webinars. So I want to thank you for being part of them. And yeah, I've been there over the years as well. Remembering you are a creator, you have huge potential. There's endless possibilities. And as dense as the world may seem at the moment, I see the opposite. I see that there's a huge awakening happening, and we're so powerful as a creator. And always at the end of a cycle, it looks like you're losing, and it's not. It's the end of the cycle. It's collapsing. So have a beautiful, beautiful day, and maybe I'll see you at one of the webinars. Thank you. Sending you so much love and gratitude.